I remember Valitar, the grand horse show that was supposed to be like Cirque du Soliel with horses, except for it became a circus in itself after the show's producer suddenly canceled the show and skipped town and left the entertainers, performers, horses high and dry. Well, joining me with a look at how our community is trying to help both the performers and the horses and all the latest on what's happening to the producers, local producers, by the way, and these horses is equine lawyer and friend, Bing Bush. Welcome back to Primetime.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It turned into a circus because we went opening night, right?
That's right, we did.
Bing and his wife and I, and it was, we were thinking, maybe they opened too soon, right? Weren't we thinking that?
I remember going there, and you looked at the performers, and what they were doing was great, but not everything was exactly as it was planned to be.
We just showed a picture, not of a performer, but that was the producer who lives in Rancho Santa Fe, and he put millions. How much money did this guy, Mark Remley, spend on this?
Well, he took out a line of credit for $10 million in order to get this thing going.
And that's his wife they're showing you now. We haven't talked about her yet, but that's her wife that he centered the whole show around.
That was the idea.
That was the idea, a little egocentric. She didn't quite cut the mustard, but that's okay. But anyhow, brought all these performers and horses from all over the world to perform in this big event, this big show, and then just left them, wouldn't even pay them, and closed shop.
Right, and what the performers did was absolutely stellar. I mean, in a very short amount of time, they put together a show that was really fantastic. It needed a little bit more work, but they didn't have the time to probably polish it quite as well as they would have liked to. But what they did was really fantastic. Unfortunately, it wasn't making as much money as Mr. Remley had wanted it to make.
It was only open 3 nights, Bing, but they got bad reviews is what happened, right?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
So they knew, we're in trouble.
Right.
But if they I thought if they would have practiced maybe 1 more month, then maybe they could have had something. But that didn't happen.
Maybe so.
Okay, but you were in court Thursday, or what day was that, Tuesday?
Right, we recently had the 3rd of a series of creditors exams. These are the opportunity for the creditors to get to ask questions of the debtor, who in this case is Mr. Remley, Mark Remley. And we've had a couple of fairly long sessions, and the last session he was actually allowed by the bankruptcy trustee to appear telephonically. And so we all
Because he
gathered.
can't drive from Rancho Santa Fe?
Well, he actually relocated to Hawaii. And
well, that was smart.
Right. He's taken everything, basically. He's taken a lot of things and gone to Hawaii. In fact, he even tried to take some of the horses and go to Hawaii. And to the credit of the bankruptcy trustee and one of the attorneys, Mr. Fennell, he was actually on vacation with his family up in the Los Angeles area when we learned at the last second that he was going to take a couple of horses on the airplane to Hawaii.
Oh my
Mr. Fennell went with his family to the airport, saw the horses there, and told him you can't take those horses because they're not your property. They're property of the bankruptcy estate, and they vanned them right back to San Diego right after that. I mean,
This isn't Tim Fennell, is it?
I'm sorry?
A different Fennell, not Tim Fennell?
Oh, they're not related.
Okay.
Right.
Unbelievable. Okay, so he didn't show up, and so there's an auction for these horses to try to get some money back.
That's exactly right.
Tell us
going
about
to happen.
that.
Sure. Well, there's a preview for the auction on Tuesday. Oh my goodness, I just forgot. I think it's the preview is on Tuesday, and then the auction is on Wednesday. I'm wrong.
And that's
the preview is on
Lakeside.
Monday. I'm sorry. And the auction is on Tuesday at 10 o'clock in Lakeside on El Monte Road at the Lakeside Corrals.
And how many horses are going to be auctioned off?
Well, a lot of them, some of them we couldn't quite locate. A lot of them have been already sold, actually even prior to the bankruptcy auction.
Yeah, but who's selling them? Who's getting the money, Mark or someone?
Well, you know, it was funny. When he filed his initial statement, he only listed 2 horses on the statement. We've really done a lot of investigative work, found a lot more horses, and some of them he actually disposed of through other means. Through other private sales that he didn't disclose initially but were later disclosed to the bankruptcy trustee. Now we have 6 horses left, and they're going to be auctioned off along with some saddles and a sewing machine, like an industrial type of sewing machine, on Tuesday. And the 6 horses, 2 of them are minis, Pegasus and Picasso, little minis that we saw
Were
on
those
the
the
show.
ones that came out and followed the? They were so cute.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a horse named Alejandro, who's a really nice gray, one of the stallions there. And then there's a couple of what are called reining horses, and those are Cuddy and Tucker. And they are the horses that
They stood up on the gladiator type. That was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you ride those horses? Are they trained to ride, or?
Yeah, you could ride them, or you could stand on them if you're good enough.
Which one's this? Is that the stallion?
That looks that. I don't
It
believe
was an
it-
Andalusia race.
That looks like, okay, now those are not for auction. Those were owned by Silvio Zerbini, who they actually contracted with, and they were a very, very significant part of the show.
Yeah, they sure were.
They actually kind of lured her away and made some various promises, but now she's on doing kind of a different sort of thing. But those are her personal horses.
They're beautiful.
I know, they were really special.
Well, there are special horses being auctioned off, and I saw like opening bid is so low, but these horses are worth a lot of money, aren't they?
You know, they are. You know, I mean, they're really special horses. They've been sort of taken care of without this kind of training that they're normally used to having, you know, over the last several months. But they're really pretty special horses.
I wish I could get that horse that she has. What was that horse's name? I can't remember.
Right.
Valitar.
That was one of the, yeah, right. Well, that was actually one of
Frisian.
the black Frisians that Mr. Remley sold for $10,000 cash the very day he liquidated. He filed for bankruptcy, and then we later.
And those horses are worth so much more than $10,000.
Yeah.
They
were
so the
purchased for
viewers
quite a
know.
bit more than that.
Yeah.
know?
I wonder how much were they purchased for?
Well, most of these horses were probably purchased for at least 10 or 20 times more than what they're going to be selling for and what they have sold for. And so, you know, a lot of these were purchased in the range of $30,000 to $60,000, $80,000, and they're going to be going for quite a bit less than that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Well, I love that you always have your heart into saving horses and doing what's best for them. The horsemanship that you exude is amazing. And
thanks. Well, I've had some help. I mean, you know, Suzanne Perazzo has been an attorney who's been very involved with this thing, has been very involved with the performers and really worked hard with this. Linda Holst, Linda Harris. I mean, you know, the performers have needed a lot of help because they were really, you're exactly right, they were left high and dry, you know, but they've gotten a lot of help. Even the bankruptcy trustee, who's been around for 25 years, Mr. Akers, has indicated that he's going to do something that he's never done before, and that is to review these claims and for some of the performers and actually make maybe an earlier disbursement than what is normally occurring. And we've been very grateful for his ear and his help in this as well.
And the funny, what's bad is that they didn't make payroll, so these performers couldn't even get back to their home. Some of them came from Canada, like all over the world.
Absolutely.
And they were stuck here. They couldn't even feed their horses. So what was really cool is that San Diego came together and helped these performers out and fed these horses, right?
I think so. I mean, I felt like, you know, from everything that we've been through so far, you know, to the extent that the debtors in this case have been far less than exemplary, there's been a real host of exemplary support, you know, from the community, and thanks to you and your show and getting this word out and as well. It's been really special. Thank you for that.
Well, I hope you come back after the auction. I want to see how it goes.
Absolutely.
In fact, I would like to go with you if that's okay.
I'd love to have you. That'd be
I'd
great.
love to do that. And I need to have you back to talk about the racehorses. You're involved in an organization that helps racehorses after the race, right? What's that called?
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, and there are a few of them. I'm fortunate to be involved in a few of them. After the Finish Line is a wonderful organization that's headed by a lady named Dawn Mellon, and they're sort of a funding organization. They raise money for a lot of other really great boots on the ground organizations that do that. That basically work with taking horses off the racetrack. Sometimes retraining them into other careers like hunters and jumpers or dressage horses or things like that. And but that takes a little bit of money to take care of these horses, to get them trained, and to get them into other homes. And so I've been lucky to be involved in several of those. Wild for Life Foundation is a really beautiful organization. They've recently created a great film called Saving America's Horses. It's about the issue of saving racehorses, and it's
cool.
Been a real pleasure to be involved with these people.
So let's have you back and talk about that. I know you have a fundraiser every year to raise money.
Yes.
You put out a lot of money and a lot of time yourself to help horses.
I'm lucky to be able to. Yeah,
You're such a good man. He's such a good man, San Diego. This is the guy. Thank you so much for coming by, Prime Time.
Thank you very much.
And I'll see you at the auction.